Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after an 11-7 loss at the hands of the Chicago White Sox. Game 133 in the books. Rangers did not have it today on the mound. Jacob deGrom goes 3 2/3, 8 earned runs, 5 walks, just 2 strikeouts. 5 days after he looked unhittable. He went 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, wasn't it? Tonight he gives up the stat line that we just read. And the game was essentially over in the first inning. Yet Texas still scored 7 runs and only ended up losing by 4. And look, we're going to get into the comeback, if you will, the fight that the Rangers showed at the end. Definitely, I know, will be a point of discussion, but we got to start with deGrom here. deGrom tonight in the performance just perfectly encapsulates the entire season in 2026 for Texas. You have a dominant start by deGrom in his last outing. You're really feeling like he is going to hit his stride. You're really feeling like he is going to lock in for that stretch run. You're trying to make the playoffs, trying to win a division potentially. You're trying to maybe secure that wild card spot. And you're getting good baseball from one of your aces at a time when you really need it with Nathan Eovaldi on the shelf. And deGrom comes out tonight and just doesn't have it. I know there was some defense going around with Jacob deGrom and, the first inning, bad luck, the soft exit velos. I've always said it's nice to look at advanced stats. It can definitely be a part of the equation, a part of the argument, but let's just keep this real. Jacob deGrom didn't miss enough bats tonight. He walked multiple hitters in that first inning. I think he walked 2. So when you're not getting strikeouts, you're not getting a lot of swing and miss. You're either walking a player or you're letting the offense put the ball in play. Eventually, you play with fire, you're going to get burned. And I think that's what happened with deGrom tonight. I know we all like to defend deGrom, and trust me, when deGrom's career is done, I will be first in line defending this man, needing to be in Cooperstown. 2-time Cy Young winner, fastest right-hander to 2,000 strikeouts. The list goes on. The resume goes on for Jacob deGrom. That discussion, though, is for another day. Let's focus on tonight. I know there's some people trying to defend deGrom, and I know that there is a faction of social media users in support of the Rangers that are always going to try and find a way to spin something positively. I don't know how you spin this deGrom start super positively if we're just keeping it real. deGrom walked 5 hitters ultimately, had an opportunity to kind of lock things down and then gave up a couple more. I know, eventually, there were some inherited runners and you had him not necessarily giving up all of those runs cleanly. You had Cole Winn giving up a couple. You had Peyton Gray coming in and giving up some too. But at the end of the day, Jacob deGrom needs to be that dude for this team right now. He needs to be that constant, steady presence. And right now, he's a bit of a mirror for the team as a whole. And let me come to that point. You have this squad winning a resounding game last night, 2 nights ago, if you're listening to this on Wednesday morning. You had great offense. You had pretty solid pitching overall from Kumar. Don't think it was a great start, but he kept the team in the game. He gave the Rangers a chance to win yesterday. And then you come out tonight and you totally get beat down. And that's happened so many times this year, hasn't it? You wonder to yourself after a big emotional win, after a resounding victory, after a walk-off where the entire team is hyped. And then the next day they come out and they do this. This game was 10-1 at one point. I'm not really interested in the fight that the team showed at the end. That was another thing that was going around during the later stages. Man, it's so good to see this team fight back. Yeah, I might feel that way in May or June. I don't feel that way with less than 30 games left. There's not a lot of silver linings when you have this little baseball left to go. Can a lot happen in 29 games? Absolutely. Is your margin for error becoming thinner with each passing day? 100% yes. And so I don't sit here gassing up an 11-7 loss because you know what? That they made the box score look a little bit cleaner. It was 10-1 at one point. And they did have Cody Freeman up with a chance to tie the game. That would have been a lot of fun, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And so here we are. It's a loss. And this White Sox team is good, not at all trying to make anything lesser of them. I've got respect for the White Sox, the fighting Will Venables, as I like to call them. They've got some good players. But the Rangers should be able to beat this team 2 out of 3 games. And I really do believe that tomorrow's a big game for Texas. We're going to get into the preview of tomorrow's game most certainly at the end of the show today. Not sure how long we'll go. Try out a different format, by the way. No live show tonight. I had multiple things going on with work. Won't be a live show tomorrow either. I'll be at my at the back to school night stuff, you know, that all the schools do at the beginning of the year for both my kids. So, you know, we'll be doing that, but we'll do another pod as well tomorrow. So we're trying out a new format. I hope it goes well. I mean, if you watch the live shows, I think you understand quite well. I have the ability to ramble. I have the ability to go on and on about this team. And, you know, clearly it's because I love them so much, very passionate about the Rangers. Rain or shine, man, rain or shine. We're riding with them, and we're going to be here till the end of the season. That has always been my commitment. Clearly family stuff, work stuff going on. You got to have your priorities, but I think we're going to end up doing over 140 games. My goal was 150. I think I was a little overzealous. Over 140 games we're going to cover either live show or podcast here on the channel. And I think that is close to the most we've ever done. And so I just want to say thank you for all your support throughout this 140 plus, man. It has been great. Now, back to business, back to the Rangers. One night, Texas looks like a playoff team. 24 hours later, you've got a meltdown going on. And so I wonder, as we go into tomorrow's game, what's tomorrow night going to look like? What is Wednesday night going to look like? Again, we'll get more into that in a little bit. But, you know, going back to deGrom, trying to put a bow on this part of the discussion. You know, you have a guy that has all the talent and pedigree in the world. You just need to see consistency, and that's this team as well. The soft contact, the weird contact in the first inning. You know, again, there's more than one way to get on base. You don't always have to hit a 110-mile-an-hour rocket. I don't think it's fair to say, hey, he had a solid start, but he gave up a lot of soft contact. It really wasn't that bad. It's hard to spin that with 8 earned runs on the docket. deGrom's got to be better, especially with Eovaldi down. He has got to pitch like the ace that the Rangers are paying him to be. And right now, that's not happening consistently enough. You want to see deGrom hit his stride in August, hit his stride in September, as we hope to build towards a playoff run. And right now, maybe some of you are replaying that Jim Mora clip in your mind. Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? Playoffs? I'm talking about playoffs, man. This team can make the playoffs. This AL is not that good. The Rangers can find a way in. But the back and forth, the volatility with the big wins and the big losses, and even like the close wins and close losses. Like, this team can do it all. The thing that they do most consistently is win and lose games very differently each night. They can win the 2-0 game. They can win an 11-3 game. They can lose a 3-1 game. They can lose a 13-1 game. This team consistently finds different ways to win and lose. That's about, the only thing that this club is doing consistently at this point. I'm just hoping and praying, and I think a lot of you guys are in the same boat. I'm just hoping and praying that the Rangers hit their stride at some point over the next 29 games. Give us that 9 out of 10, 7 out of 9. That run where maybe you're not winning like 9 games in a row, but you're consistently stacking and stringing together wins. That's what you want to see out of this club more than anything. And right now, you just don't trust this team. That is the conclusion that I've come to. Do I think this team can make the playoffs? Yes. Do I trust this team? No, I don't. I trust them to do exactly what I just said, which is find different ways on any given day to win a game or to find different ways on any given day to lose a game. You had, I think some more consistency with the 24-25 teams, a lot of really close wins and losses, a lot of 4-3s, 3-2s, a lot of low-scoring affairs, especially in 24 and 25, right? That 24 team, it felt like, was always in a 3-2 game, and, Kirby Yates or David Robertson was coming in. This team just feels all over the map. I mean, they could be getting the brakes beat off them. They could be winning a really tight ball game, or the offense can erupt out of nowhere like they did yesterday or like they did on Monday night, right? I think at this point, you just are praying this team can find its groove. It can happen, but they're running out of time to do it. And you've got 29 games left to figure it out. And I think the jury's out on whether or not that is going to be able to happen. Now, let's go into a couple of different components here. There's a lot of different directions we can go. We'll try and stay focused, but if you watch the lives, things can get off the rails sometimes. We always bring it back in eventually, but let's talk about some individual performances here, right? So you look at the offense and you look at some of the numbers jumping out to you. Jake Berger with the home run. Yeah, Danny Jansen getting on the board. Finally, man, first hit since he came off the IL. DJ able to figure it out. He had 3 RBI, a 2-run bomb, had another base knock that drove in a run. Yeah, you had some guys who were putting the bat on the ball today, but it was just too little too late when you have a 6-run deficit, a 10-1 deficit to work with. I think Berger, further solidifying in my mind, dude needs to be a lefty guy primarily. I think they need to find ways to give him some time off when it comes to the righties that are on the mound, especially tough righties, right? Against tough right-handers, I think it's almost a no-brainer. Give Jake Berger a little rest time. Allow him to keep punishing lefties. Foscue had a good night tonight. Sorry about that. Hot out in the garage, so it is a little bit warm. Forgive me. But we got Foscue coming through with a 2-for-4 night, 2 RBI. You had some good performances. Corey Seager goes 0 for 5. Not ideal, but you score 7 runs in a game. You should be able to win. And the Rangers just totally let down on the pitching side of things. And I think that's kind of another thing to add into the consistency, right? You just don't have all phases clicking really at any given moment for this team. If the pitching is doing really well, the offense is cold. If the offense is really hot, the pitching is having trouble. If the starting pitching is dominant, the bullpen's faltering. It just all goes into the same theme, doesn't it? I mean, that's where we're at this point. And so you're hoping tomorrow can be a new day and you can get a complete performance from Gore. You can get this offense continuing to do what they did tonight. You have a number of different places that you can go in this lineup, but I'll say this. Going 1 through 9 here, I like the lefty lineup. I really do. But I just feel like you're always going to be missing Jock Peterson, who's been in a tough stretch, but he's been one of the Rangers' best hitters this year. And when he goes out of the game, he came in today with a pinch hit opportunity. The lefty lineup does feel a little disadvantaged. We've been talking about this, though, for the last couple of years, and the Rangers have refused to go out and get crazy right-handed bat help. They've really kind of chosen to do more of an internal thing when it comes to that. But I'm looking forward to seeing the right-handed starting pitching lineup tomorrow. You've got a righty on the hill for Chicago. We're going to, again, preview that matchup later on in the show. But I think this team is at its best when they're facing a right-hander. I get a little bit worried about the offense when the lefty is on the hill, although recently it's been good. You just hope it can continue to stay that way. And at this point, you've got Berger clicking well against lefties. Nimmo's been hitting lefties well all year. Foscue, although had a little bit of a cold streak after the All-Star break, Foscue I feel like has maybe picked it up a little bit here of late. You've got 29 games till pay dirt, man. You got 29 games till the finish line. and you're just hoping that Texas can flip that switch. You got a couple of guys in the lineup that I feel have that capability. Corey Seager's one of them, man. And, Brandon Nimmo, I know he's never been, the elite of the elite per se, but he feels like another one that might be able to figure it out. He really does. We keep going. We have the bullpen. I think it's not really fair to deGrom to not mention the other pitchers tonight that really did not have their A game, if you will, and I'm trying to put it nicely here. Cole Winn is a guy that a lot of fans this year, just my sense, have grown a little bit tired of. There's, I think, some Cole Winn fatigue out there. He's been put into a lot of different roles this year. He dabbled in some high leverage. Now he's a little bit more in mop-up, but you got to think Cole Winn is pitching for his baseball life right now. I don't think he has a super long runway any longer. I think he's actually running out of runway. And I'm a Cole Winn fan. I think he's a good dude. I've shared some Cole Winn experiences over the years. My son and I, we've been out watching him when he comes out to Vegas here. We'll go see an Aviators Express game, and he's flipped us a couple of baseballs. He's a good dude. I like Cole Winn a lot. Everything I've heard about him is good stuff. But unfortunately, that only takes you so far. You got to perform on the field. And Cole's had a tough time getting positive results here in 2026. And, tonight, inning and a third, 2 earned runs, a walk, 5 hits, just a lot of traffic for Cole. He's been better of late. Like, I think if you look at his numbers over his last 7, you'll be like, that's not so bad. 352, by the way, but you have given up 11 base runners in 7 innings and change. Cole Winn, he was, I think, really expected to take a bigger step this year. I know one of the videos I posted about him in the offseason was, this dude could be the X factor. Some of his repertoire, you look at it, you look at the stuff he had last year, and you looked at some of the success he had early on, and you thought, maybe this could be kind of a catch-all guy at the back end of the pen. You can use him in that 7th inning jam. You can use him in an 8th inning jam. You can use him a little bit of everywhere, and it just hasn't worked out this year. Has not worked out this year. He is sitting at a 5.63 ERA, 48 innings, 49 strikeouts, a 1.46 whip, allowing, I know obviously literally it doesn't make sense, but about a batter and a half an inning, right? Not great for a relief pitcher. Cole Winn, I think, has gotten many chances to succeed. He's got to figure it out. He has got to bear down and give the Rangers some quality innings down the stretch here. Peyton Gray, not a lot better tonight, and he has had a rough go of things over his last 7 games. He gave up a home run today. Did have a number of positive moments, got some swing and miss tonight. He did have 3 strikeouts in just 1 inning pitch, right? But nevertheless, you give up the home run, you make the deficit even greater. But I got to be honest with you guys, I just can't find it in me. I can't bring myself to really crack down on guys like Gray or Alstrom, because I just feel like they are pitching way above their weight class right now. And this is no disrespect to Peyton Gray, Robbie Alstrom, any of these guys. I think considering that they're rookies and were never really supposed to be in this role, I think you have to be impressed with what they've done, right? They're sub right now, not Robbie Alstrom, but Peyton Gray, sub 4 ERA. He's at 3.93. You look at the splits for Peyton Gray, and a pre-All-Star, 3.48 ERA for a rookie, 33 2/3, only 13 earned runs, and then 37 strikeouts in those 33 innings. And this is for a guy that doesn't have like high-octane, overpowering fastball, right? He's a fastball changeup guy mainly. 37 strikeouts in 33 innings pre-All-Star for Peyton Gray. What I just don't want to see is people lose perspective with Gray, or even lose perspective with Alstrom when he falters along the way. These guys are rookies, and they've been punching above their weight class. The Rangers did a bad job of putting together a bullpen. And I'm sorry, I don't really give a free pass for injuries, like with Robert Garcia or Chris Martin. That's all a part of it, man. That's all a part of the planning you do in the offseason. Can we count on Chris Martin to stay healthy? Yeah, we can. The front office had to say that out loud, and they were quite wrong. You don't have a lot of depth in this bullpen. The bullpen success has been pretty top-heavy as well. You've got clearly Jacob Latz. Jacob Junis, when healthy, has been good. Tyler Alexander's been pretty good. And, Cal Q, do you want to count him in the bullpen? He's been more of a dominant starter than a dominant bullpen piece. 2.32 starter ERA. Hello. We're going to get back to Cal Q. I'm going to circle back to him in a little bit. But back to Peyton Gray, Robbie Alstrom, and some of the bullpen pieces. You don't have enough depth in this bullpen. You added Chase Silseth. He's largely limited damage, but I don't know if I would say Silseth has wowed in his time in Arlington thus far. Now, look, it hasn't been much. I'm not being overly critical of the guy, but he's allowed some traffic. He's made things interesting at times, but ultimately he's gotten outs mostly. I don't think Silseth is quite the caliber of player that the Rangers needed to add out in the bullpen. See why? Of course, the best moves are sometimes the ones you don't make. Yeah, right. How many times are we going to get spoon-fed that over the next several years with CY in charge, man? Like, I'm just not here for it. I'm really not here for it. Look, Chris Young, Fenstermaker, all those guys, they needed to do a better job really making this bullpen, stocked well, depth, and not relying on rookies like Gray and Alstrom. I think Gray and Alstrom, in a perfect world, would have made their debuts this year. I don't think the perfect world, though, is them as, your seventh inning bridge guys. So I just asked, let's keep perspective on these guys. They're rookies. This is their first full season in the major leagues. And all things considered, I think they've done pretty well. Has Gray been awesome of late? No. But at the same time, has he been set up in the best positions to succeed? I think that's debatable. You probably could have given some of these guys a little bit of a softer landing with better planning in the offseason. They were ready to crown Chris Martin and Robert Garcia the first week of spring training. I'll never forget that. Skip came out. Yeah, we're going to go Robert Garcia. We're going to go Chris Martin kind of in tandem. Didn't even open it up for a competition. That's how certain the Rangers were of what they had at closer right away. Jacob Latz, I give all the credit to Latzy. I don't give a ton of credit to, Skip or CY for putting him in that position. The Rangers were going to make him a fifth starter. And I think, with Kumar Rocker, they wanted him to be in the rotation. This was not going to be a great look, Rocker getting sent down to AAA. I think it should have happened. Rock has shown you some positive signs this year, but I think he could have really benefited from refinement in AAA. And you could have gone with Cal Q as one of your, number 4, number 5 guys. But injuries have just prevented that, right? I personally don't give a lot of credit for Jacob Latz becoming an all-star to anyone but Jacob Latz. Yeah, obviously there's some coaches and there's some people along the way that definitely deserve some credit. But I'm going to give the majority to the guy that's on the mound getting outs. Rangers had no clue Latzy was going to be all-star. And so bringing it full circle, you've lucked into some things. You've gotten a couple of over-performances, Junis, Alexander, but you just didn't build enough depth in this pen. And so I know Peyton Gray been fading a little bit. Again, 4.74 ERA post-all-star. But you have to look at his season in its totality. He's been asked to do a little bit more than what you probably would have ideally wanted. I think all things considered, it's been a positive first year for him. Shoot, Jack Leiter had an ERA over 8 in 2024, and I had people trying to tell me that he's taken positive steps this year. So if the bar is have an 8+ ERA and we can sit around and say, hey, positive steps, what are we saying about Peyton Gray with a sub-4 ERA as a rookie? Flowers to Peyton Gray. I'm a fan. I hope that he figures out a little bit of a consistent path here. That's the theme of the show, the buzzword of the show, by the way, if you haven't picked up on it. I hope he can get back on track. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if maybe this is going to be a trend that continues, but just don't want to see the Peyton Gray bashing, man. He has been pretty solid, I think, in year one, all things considered. Now, let's keep on rolling down the list a little bit. You had Jordan Montgomery pitching tonight, back-to-back days. I would imagine he's down. Tyler Alexander gives you an inning today. So you probably got some guns available for tomorrow, fortunately, just to bring the bullpen conversation to a close for now. I think you've got some guys available out there. Maybe Junis is available. Alstrom probably available as well. But you figure if Latzy needs to go a couple of innings, why not? I think that probably will be something that the team considers going into an off day on Thursday, especially. So at this point, you got to get a lead. You got to get good quality starting pitching. But it's nice that the Rangers didn't have to burn through everybody tonight. You still got Silseth available tomorrow. Again, maybe Junis available in Lat. So I think things are setting up pretty nicely for a good game tomorrow. It's just going to be, what are you getting out of MacKenzie Gore? What are you getting out of this offense? That's where we're at. Look, we're going to go ahead and roll into tomorrow's game a little bit. I'm sure there'll be some things that get us back on track with tonight's game. We'll keep going back and forth, bouncing back a little bit. But we have tomorrow, by the way, records. Texas, 1 game below 500. Houston, even at 500. Rangers are a half game back. Series with the White Sox tied 1-1, rubber match tomorrow. MacKenzie Gore versus Schomburg. Gore 7-9 with a 4.26 ERA. You have Burke 7-6 with a 3.27 ERA. So Burke's been pretty solid this year. Win the series, though. I don't think that the sky is falling if the Rangers lose tomorrow. I don't think they're out of it, but it just solidifies my lack of trust in the team. It just solidifies it. Are they donezo tomorrow if they lose? No, they're not. Anybody saying that, I mean, just trying to get clicks. They're not done if they lose tomorrow. They're not done until they're mathematically eliminated. That's what I will always stick by. They're not done until they're mathematically eliminated. But tomorrow, the loss would A, be deflating, and B, just continue to solidify. They are who we thought they were. Going Denny Green, man. I'm doing all these old school NFL throwbacks right now. We did Jim Mora earlier, and then Denny Green. We are who we thought they were. Rest in peace, Denny Green, man. Classic, man. Classic. I think the Rangers are who we think they are. They're an inconsistent team, capable of beating good teams, but not capable of doing it consistently enough. If we're being super technical, this is a losing team right now. They are a game below 500. And if not for a mediocre AL full of parity, they probably would be multiple games out. They're not, though. And they have an opportunity to just find a way to sneak into the big dance and make something special happen. And it starts with Gore tomorrow. MacKenzie Gore has been really, I think, pretty solid of late. Gore has gotten a lot of crap from fans this year, myself included. I really try not to take dumps on players when they are doing poorly. Of course, I'll call out an individual performance like, man, this is not good. This is not acceptable, man. Wyatt Langford earlier last night, I was going to say earlier tonight, but I know most of you are going to be listening to this in the morning or in the afternoon. Like, I don't know where Wyatt said was at a few different times today. Like, doesn't mean Wyatt's the worst player in the world, but it was not a good performance for Wyatt. We'll call out individual bad performances. And MacKenzie Gore, the 5 prospect trade, I don't think it's paid off a lot yet. I said that out loud last week, and I had some people instantly, again, trying to hype up and pump up Gore's season. It hasn't been that great, man. With Kumar Rocker the other night, I had a number of people, really pleased, impressed with Rocker's start. He gave them a chance to win. I think that's the best compliment you can give Rock. Did he start looking really good after the 3rd inning? Yes, but man, did he look rough the first 3? 100%. Should have easily been 4 runs after 2 innings, if not for an incredible play from Brandon Nimmo. So, Rocker, he definitely found it there in the 4th inning, the 5th inning. but it was not, in my opinion, a great start for him. Now, MacKenzie Gore, he has had a nice little stretch here against some of the worst teams in baseball. You can only pitch against the team that's across from you. But MacKenzie Gore's last 4 games have come against the Giants, the A's, and the Angels twice. Literally 3 of the worst teams in baseball. Now, the start before that stretch of 4 starts against the worst teams in baseball, he did pitch against the Rays, gave up that 3 spot, I think in the first or second inning, and then shut him down. 9 Ks, 7 innings, 3 earned runs against the first place Tampa Bay Rays. Gore has the potential. Question is to be able to really be that ace that the Rangers thought they were getting when they traded for him. Hear a lot of people talk about Gore like he's going to be around for 5 more years, like Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker. We got Gore for this year and next year. Gore doesn't have a lot of time to waste, man. He needs to be pitching well, and he needs to be doing that consistently. How many times have we said that word today? Just sound like a broken record. You get the point. But Gore tomorrow, I'm expecting him to go out and throw well. If you're just asking me for my gut feeling, I do think Gore goes out and has a good game tomorrow. I'm not seeing a massive meltdown incoming. I'll knock on wood. I don't want to be blamed. Shoot, but I think Gore gives a decent start tomorrow. Last 3 games, he's pitched 17 innings and given up 4 earned runs. And over that span, he struck out 21. He has walked 5, it looks like. You'd love to see him limit the crooked number walks. He had 1 walk on the 21st against LA, 2 walks against the Athletics before that, 2 walks against the Angels before that. Gore, to me, at this point, has a great opportunity here the last, probably 4 or 5 starts to really become an anchor with Eovaldi down, with deGrom faltering a little bit. MacKenzie Gore has a great end of August and into September. He's going to start turning some heads naturally. At this point, like it or not, he's getting a little bit thrust into the limelight with some of these other top players either not performing to the best of their ability or being hurt. I think Gore is going to figure out a way tomorrow to give Texas a really good chance at a win. You're just hoping that all facets of the game can come together. Offense continues to do its thing. Again, 18 runs scored over the last 2 games. Who is this team, man? Who is this team? Jekyll and Hyde. And that's a number of the players too. Jekyll and Hyde. And you have Texas offense clicking, and then something else not completely clicking. You're just hoping it can be a total team effort tomorrow, close out a series win, and then you go into the off day on Thursday and you head into a weekend series feeling pretty good about yourself. I don't know why you wouldn't. You go into this weekend, you got the series coming up against the Brewers. I think it's A's after that. If I'm not mistaken, you have the A's at home, but you got to go to Milwaukee this weekend. It's not getting a ton easier. It's just not. Milwaukee, by the way, 30 games above 500. The weird thing is, I feel like the Rangers can go in and win 2 out of 3. Like, you're going to have an opportunity, I think, to go steal a couple. We'll see how the Brewers pitching matchups line up. It's a lot to be determined. I don't know if we're going to be seeing the Miz or not. Wouldn't necessarily be counting on a dub in that game, but I do think the Rangers can figure out a way to beat the Brewers 2 out of 3 at least. Not going to proclaim a sweep or anything, but look, before we get too crazy into that series, Gore, by the way, against the White Sox, just some numbers to kind of throw your way here. Gore doesn't have a robust sample size against a lot of players, and against the White Sox, he just has 2 matchups. Doyle, who he walked, and Grichuk, who hits him really well. Grichuk is 5 for 9 against Gore with 1 homer. Beyond that, nobody else has faced Gore. On the other side, Burke against the Rangers. Berger 1 for 3. Diaz 0 for 1. You have Danny Jansen 0 for 1 against probable starter for the White Sox tomorrow, Sean Burke. Wyatt Langford 1 for 3. O'Hoppe 1 for 2. And Jock Peterson 0 for 2. So a very small sample size on both sides. you're going to, I think, have a little bit of a crapshoot situation here. Sometimes it works out in the pitcher's favor when you really haven't had the offense seeing a lot of in-person, a lot of live matchups. Of course, you can watch a ton of tape, but I think tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a crapshoot for the Rangers offense. I think MacKenzie Gore, like I said, goes out and has a good game. I'm looking at the offense. Can they sustain what they did today? That, to me, is going to be the big question. Back to Cal Quantrill for a second. We're talking about MacKenzie Gore starting pitchers. We'll make the loose connection here. How do you not think more strongly? How do you not feel more strongly about Cal Q after a night like tonight with deGrom? Cal Q, 2.32 starter ERA, probably, and not even probably, shoot, I'm not going to cop out with probably. He's been the most consistent starter for the Rangers. I think some people kind of chuckled when I said Cal Q game 1 starter. Is that really a hot take anymore? Seriously, is that really that hot of a take at this point in the game? Cal Q with the 2.32 starter ERA. He has gone on quite the run here over the last several starts, 5, 6 innings, 1 earned run or less. Makes you appreciate Cal Q more when you watch a game like tonight from Jacob deGrom. Look, clearly deGrom, the ceiling of what he can do, it's still screaming game 1 starter. It is. With Eovaldi out for a little bit of an extended period, I wonder what is going to become of him. You hope you can get him back, kind of be that game 2 guy, but I don't want to sit here and pretend like, deGrom can't come out over the next 4 or 5 outings and really dominate. He can. He's got that capability. But right now, I think you got to start earning it. Chris Young was on The Fan, I think, a couple days ago, and they were talking about Danny Jansen and O'Hoppe and the catchers, and CY, maybe it's lip service, but basically said, we're going with the hot hand. I don't know at this point how you don't apply the same philosophy for the pitching. You got to go with the hot hand at some point. And to me, that even needs to supersede big names, big contracts. Give your team the best opportunity to win. That has to be it. All right, we are getting close to wrapping up the show. By the way, tomorrow we have got a 6:40 Texas time start, and then Thursday off day, and then we go out to Milwaukee, make another stop on the Midwest tour, and 3 games set there before the Rangers return back home. Tonight changed a couple of things for me, but, look, at the end of the day, it is one game. deGrom. The concern is reliability, not talent. I still think deGrom, when he's on, is one of the most elite pitchers in this game. Offense. The comeback definitely matters, like diagnostically, if you will. Like you look at Jock Peterson, you look at some of the games, and you appreciate the fact that some of the hitters tonight put up numbers, but moral victories, not really here for it with 29 games left in the year. Rangers are just impossible to trust from night to night, and you just hope that tonight's game can be a game where they go out with some confidence, play all 3 phases well, and go win a series. Tomorrow, I think, can change the feeling pretty quickly. We say this all the time, and I've tried to be careful, not overreacting to losses, but at the same time, it's just the way that they lose that causes a little bit of an emotional response. It's like, it's one thing to lose like a tight ball game 4-3. It's another thing to be down 10-1 in the first 3 or 4 frames. Like, it's just a different feeling. Here's the final verdict, though. Texas doesn't need perfection. Nobody is asking that of this team. It just needs fewer nights where one part of the roster is making the other part of the roster's job feel irrelevant. So apply that for tonight. You've got the offense clicking, but it's irrelevant because Jacob deGrom and Cole Winn and company just are getting shelled left and right. They just did not have their A game tonight. You just need this team to be a little less extreme in each department. And I think they're going to string together some games. They continue to be this volatile. It's going to be tough to do that. With that, we are going to sign off, wrap up the show. Hope you enjoyed the pod. We'll have another one out on Thursday morning as well. No live show tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, but we will be back for our live shows in the Brewers series. I'm excited about that. But it's been fun doing a bit of a new format. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope the Rangers can get us a win tomorrow and a series victory. Hopefully around this time, maybe a little bit earlier on in the evening. It is just about 12:30 as I'm wrapping things up, 12:30 a.m. out here in Vegas. A little late night ride on Rangers, but we got it done. I'm hopeful around this time tomorrow we'll be talking about the Rangers doing some good work. All right, then. Hope you have a beautiful Wednesday. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.